A type of contingent liability would be warranties. So, warranties are things or a contingent liability that we can't always, um, it's probable, right? So, we have to record it in the accounting system and we can estimate it again, so we must put it in the accounting system. But what makes it contingent is that we don't know if the actual customer will call the warranty to current. So if I'm Best Buy and you buy a Sony camera from Best Buy, it's under warranty. You add the warranty to it, but you may never use the warranty. So that's kind of what makes it contingent. But here we want students to know how to record contingent liabilities, specifically those involving warranties. So again, a warranty is an obligation for the corporation to cover parts and labor for a product that they've sold. Typically, warranties are funded through the sales. So there is, through statistical analysis, we will determine of the sale or of the product that was sold in the price that we had, what percentage of that needs to be set aside to cover the warranty for that product. So it'll be 2%, 1%, 4%, or, dare I say 10% of the sale is then set aside in a liability account to cover future repairs, parts, and labor for the product that's covered under the warranty. So what does this look like? Let's take a look. So here we have a company that sold $200,000 of equipment in February under a 1-year warranty. The cost to repair the defects under the warranty we estimate is around 6% of the sales price. So 6% of the $200,000 in sales needs to be set aside to a liability account, a current liability account called warranties payable, right? And then if any customers who purchase any of this equipment comes in and says, hey, this isn't working, we'll cover it under the warranty. All right. So let's say this is taking place. And so we determine that a customer required a $60 part plus $32 of labor to repair their product that's covered under the warranty. So we want to estimate the warranty that we've set aside and then show the journal entry to cover the repair of the product under the warranty. So first things first, the first journal entry represents the $12,000 that we set aside to cover future warranties from any customers that purchase this product. So remember, it's 6% of the $200,000 in sales of this particular product. Later on, a customer does come in and says, hey, this isn't working. And so what we do is we show that $92 went towards $60 for the supplies or the parts that we needed to fix this particular item, and then payment of the person who fixed it. Okay. And so the $92 will pull from the warranty payable account where we set aside the full $12,000. All right. Let's take a look at another one. So low manufacturing warrants its products for 1 year. The estimated product warranty is 4% of sales. So let's assume there were $560,000 of sales for June, and in July, a customer received warranty repairs that required $140 of parts and $95 of labor. So we're going to record both issuance. So the first one represents the amount that we set aside in the liability account to cover future warranties. So that's 4% of sales, so that's $22,400. Months later, a customer comes in and says, hey, this isn't working. It's covered by the warranty. We like, hey, you're right. It is. Let's fix it for you. And so we pull the parts needed to fix the item, and then we set aside the amount that we need to pay the person who's already on our payroll. So what it is, we're just supplementing or pulling, I should say, pulling from this account to pay them their regular pay for working. They have no idea this is going on in the background for a portion of their pay that goes towards fixing this particular item. So it's just pulling from a different account than their typical salaries account. Anyway, so then this is the journal entry that we would have here for that. And so here we can see the set aside allows us to cover the parts and labor for the product covered underneath the warranty.